You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The New Normal After Show.
Woo! I love this music. I don't really know what it is, but hey, everybody. Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another wrap-up of The New Normal at AfterBuzz TV for you. This is The New Normal Season 1, Episode 7, The Godparent Trap. That is so not the theme song that just played, is it? Is it me? Oh, no, you know what? It is.
It is.
It is. It is. Sorry, Marissa. It is, because they do this little shoe thing in the beginning. Did you, or I know sometimes we fast forward through it.
I don't know about the shoe thing. But
It's, okay, I'm not explaining this correctly, but it's like a pair of women's shoes, a pair of man shoes, and a kid shoe, and then like they all mix around, and then it ends up being like 2 men's shoes and a kid's shoe and a doormat, and it's the new normal.
Well, I do recognize the music regardless. So
it totally threw me off, but it's definitely the theme song. They just don't have theme songs like they used to back in the day.
Oh, like the 80s.
Like Growing Pains.
Yeah.
And Who's the Boss? And Punky Brewster.
You're aging yourself.
Just saying. I think maybe we could bring that back a little. That's all I'm saying. And I could probably make a good living writing them because I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff. Anyway.
Throwing it out there. Put it on the reel.
Just if the new normal needs a theme song, I might write one by the next episode. Okay, well, tonight we really got into religion here.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't know it was going to go that deep.
I did. Yeah. Throwing out Leviticus.
Right? I mean, yeah, that was like a very peanut gallery topic to bring up that I wouldn't think they would have brought up here. But it was interesting. We got to see, as we always do, we learned something new about the characters. First of all, there was no Nana, which you pointed out, which was weird.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Maybe they just felt like Nana and religion do not mesh well.
Well, maybe it would have been too much with her. And maybe, I don't know, they got enough fan mail. No,
who knows? And by the way, for those listening and watching, I am Lauren Leonelli. We're minus a couple of hosts tonight.
We are.
And
I'm Anna Koppel.
Across from me is the lovely Anna Koppel. And we are just going to chat it up, her and I, and we do not have a problem doing that.
It's true.
So
as you can tell so far.
We already just got ahead of ourselves. But I think that, yeah, like we said, maybe Nana and religion do not go hand in hand. I don't know. But she was not really in this episode. But there was still plenty going on. We found out that David is Jewish.
Right.
And Bryan is Catholic. And Bryan's religion was much more prevalent, his faith and how much he practiced before. I think he said it was 20 years since his last confession, but he seemed a lot more attached to his religion than David did.
Well, and I think that's sort of true, and I'm just going to, be politically incorrect here.
Go for it.
But I feel like as I'm Jewish, I feel like I say that on every after show now, but I feel like as a Jew, it's something that just sort of is. It's not necessarily like you don't go to temple to be Jewish. It's something that, is just sort of like in your day-to-day like heritage and history and family and community. And so there are like traditions that come up but it's not like, yeah, these are the practices. Like these are
Okay.
These are, you don't
so
have
you're
to go
saying you're saying that especially for your situation and what you were raised in, that you don't have to go to temple every what is it, Friday?
Saturday.
Or Saturday?
Well, Friday night, yeah,
Friday night, Saturday morning. That you feel like you can still be a Jew and not have to practice like by actually going to temple as like a Catholic would by going every Sunday or a Mormon or whoever.
I mean, there are three sort of denominations of Judaism.
Yes.
And I happen to be Reformed, which is pretty much like a salad bar, so you just kind of like pick and choose what you want to do. And yeah, but that's my experience with Judaism, and it seems like that's also Brian's.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, David's, sorry.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I always do that throughout the show. I'm like, wait, I'm giving them the wrong names, but they're definitely two different characters for sure. And
we're not hallucinating.
No, we are not. And they talk about also through this spirituality quest, they're also kind of trying to find a godparent within this, because they both realize that this is something that they've been, well, I guess, do you guys have godparents in the Jewish religion? Yeah, no. So it's just something that comes from like Catholicism, and I think that's probably why Bryan was sort of asking about it. And his idea of David. No.
David.
Bryan was asking about finding a godparent.
Oh, okay.
Because, yes, and David was then questioning like what it was. But
right,
yes,
okay.
Sorry, I didn't explain that. But Bryan kind of brought it up in the beginning of the episode, saying we want to find a godparent, and a godparent is who takes care of the child if something happens to the actual parents. And then Nene Leakes' character Rocky comes in and says, no, a godparent is like a spiritual guide, a guardian is who takes the child if something happens to both of the parents, which I think is a very common misconception.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I want to just sort of on a sidebar here. How much did you love Rocky's Sunday church hat? Her lavender,
the purple.
Yeah, it was incredible.
She looked so cute, and the little girl that was playing her niece, I think, or her goddaughter,
yeah,
was to die for. I mean, that was the cutest little thing ever, and I really like Nene Leakes on this show.
I do too.
I am pleasantly shocked, and I've said this before.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's it. I'm just shocked and surprised that I like her.
No, and me too. And I was really on the fence with it, and like, like she's not big enough to do a cameo. Remember I said that?
Yeah.
But I really like her, and I think she's acting.
I think she's acting
well.
I think she does a good job of being who we think she kind of is. I mean, I think that's kind of her. I mean, we were talking about this, Anna and I were talking about this before, that we love all the housewife shows and stuff. And I've seen the Atlanta Housewives, and that's kind of how she is.
But she's much sweeter in this episode, certainly.
Yeah.
She's much sweeter.
You got to see her kind of show her spiritual beliefs and how that she uses that to help people, because, you know, she was helping her goddaughter, and then she ended up helping Shania.
Yeah.
And so Bryan brought up his idea of what he thought a godparent was. She kind of corrected him. And then David was sort of like, well, I don't really practice my religion that much. And Bryan took it upon himself to go to church and sort of explore how he felt about this whole shebang. And I thought that the confession was really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty hilarious. And they, you know what I liked about it is I liked that they brought in like modern terms and analogies and like pop culture references and things like that. I'm surprised they didn't bring up like more internet stuff and whatever. But speaking of the internet, you guys, we love when you go on iTunes and you rate and you comment and you talk about what you like to hear and you continue the conversation, because we really appreciate your support and your comments. We read them, we listen to them. Helps us out here. We do this for you guys, and it keeps the lights on over here. So we really appreciate.
And tell a friend.
On iTunes, rate, comment, tell a friend.
And give 5 stars even if you hate us.
You know, just give us some love. We like it all the way around. But yeah, no, like I was saying, I love how they made it very modern. They made it very like relevant today.
Well, I have to say, for me, this is definitely like a platform for Ryan Murphy, and so it felt a little bit preachy for me, like the back and forth conversation between Bryan and the priest, like, so, but that's okay, you know, he has a platform.
Yeah.
I definitely agreed with a lot of it. I think it's a huge misconception that for Christians, for Catholics, that that being gay is a sin. The only place it talks about being gay, like laying with another man, it's an abomination. That's in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. That's Old Testament. And if you're new to, it's either Old Testament, New Testament.
Right.
Old Testament is like you're living by the law. New Testament, you're living by faith. Jesus died on the cross to it's help me out with this. Like he's like the blood of it was his blood for the the world. But his living and dying on the cross was to like absolve the sin of the world.
Yes.
So now you don't live by the law anymore. The law has been fulfilled, and now you live by faith. So
Okay.
So if one believes in Jesus, then the old law is forgotten, and the only the laying with another man is referenced in the New Testament, but it's a callback to the Old Testament.
Okay.
So I think I'm glad that was brought up because it's a huge misconception.
Right.
And if people would read the Bible, they would know that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I will say this like flat out. I'm not very familiar with the Bible. I was raised with a couple religions that were brought into my life. So I've been to Catholic Church, I've been to Mormon Church, I've been to but I never had a specific religion that I attached myself to and practice. But yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the Bible, but I wasn't like in Sunday school learning all about every detail about it. So, but you know, I mean, that's, I think, kind of a common thing. So I think that, you know, people like me or people who don't know, like you said, don't read the Bible, they might not know. They might just assume that, that, you know.
Well, it's out there. That's a message that's out there.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, it is. And I like that they brought that up here. But back to, we sort of jumped a little bit of topic here, to Bryan's spirituality and him going to church and really trying to reconnect with the spirituality and trying to figure out where his place was in that. Like I was saying, I really like that they made it feel like more relevant to today. Like you don't have to go to church and just like be, yes, there's traditions and things can feel kind of old or whatever, but he made it feel like it was his own thing. Like it's whatever you want to make out of it. And you go to church and you can have your own spiritual beliefs along with whatever religion you're practicing. And you don't have to be so set in like the old ways. I like that he sort of found his place again in the church.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I
like
thought that was
too.
Nice. Yeah.
I also like that the priest said that Mark Wahlberg's abs put Jesus is to shame. Yeah.
That was hysterical. And I love that Bryan kept talking about that. He's like, when I was going through puberty, I stared at Jesus' abs. Those things were great. It's just like, I mean.
So ridiculous. So sacrilege. But hilarious.
So inappropriate, but funny because I kind of feel like they bring up really, really kind of harsh, or maybe harsh is the wrong word, but very serious topics in the show. And the ridiculous comedy that goes alongside with it kind of lightens it and makes it feel a little less tense. Because this show is a lot of tense topics.
Yeah, sure.
You know, a lot of topics that could cause like some crazy debates. And I think that the ridiculousness of like Nana and some of the things that Bryan says really just kind of like levels the playing field a little. Like you realize that there's two sides to the coin, you know, and I don't know, I kind of appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, the Jesus abs comment was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, they had some zingers tonight.
They totally had some zingers. I wrote down another one and I don't know where it was.
Yeah, you love that one.
I was quoting, oh gosh, I'll find it, but I wrote down like a, oh no, yes, it was this. They were taking pictures with, Bryan and David were taking pictures with Shania and her guinea pig. And they were flipping through them on the iPhone, like, oh, look how cute they are. And then one of them said, wow, they really do look like Polaroids. And Shania's like, what's a Polaroid? And Bryan said, oh, that's just an old-timey word that we like to use, like landline or Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, that was good.
It's like, first of all, Josh Hartnett, he's not that washed up, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay, I guess he kind of is.
I mean, it's like Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell has a show on right now.
Does
Okay,
he?
honey? Yeah, he has a CIS or one of the freaking crime scene shows. LA.
Listen,
you know,
I can get a part on CSI.
CSI LA. That's what he
Yeah.
has, or whatever it is. Yeah, or I think that. Oh, geez, I don't know. Call in if I'm wrong, but he does have with LL Cool J.
Well,
he came back.
All
Chris
right, LL
O'Donnell
Cool
came
J's
back. Josh Hartnett could come back. Okay, so that means that he's gone now. But
Ryan Murphy thinks otherwise.
you know, he's clearly washed up in Ryan Murphy's eyes. But you know what? I kind of like Josh Hartnett, and I think that Pearl Harbor was a good movie.
I think 28 Days Later is a good movie. So That was him, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Anyway, I thought that was funny. Again, the ridiculous random comments, I think that makes the show funny to watch. The writing's hilarious. But okay, so also we kind of touched on gays in the church and the misconception that, you know, it's wrong to be gay. And I loved that this priest was like, definitely come to church. We want to see you in mass. We want you and your husband or you and your partner and the baby to come your family.
Yeah.
I like that they were, you know, again, like I said, making it more modern, making it more relevant, making you feel like you can have your own experience with religion. It doesn't have to be so black and white. And I like that it made Bryan's character able to kind of reinvent his belief, bring himself back into the religion. And I think it was important to him. Clearly he had been raised Catholic. He mentioned praying with his mom.
Yeah, and that was another big thing, I think, feeling connected to his mom. And that's, I think, often religion is just that for people, is, you know, like to bind together and to bring back together again.
Families and relationships. I completely agree. And I like that they're doing that. This is what this show, I mean, I think that, again, it's kind of like the show is kind of a misconception for people who maybe are a little more conservative or a little more right-wing, like that this is wrong. And that this show, I mean, we all know that we talked about it in the beginning of the season, there was a network in Utah that didn't want to air the show. And I think that them bringing this up and showing that Bryan does have, you know, spiritual beliefs and was raised Catholic, and so he's allowed to believe in God and have a relationship with God no matter what his sexual orientation is. And I think it's nice to show that.
Yeah.
What do you think about them? I mean, that was obviously on purpose.
Obviously. And I like that it was kind of both. Like they didn't open with them being like, hey, like we go to church and we're spiritual.
It wasn't shoved down your throat. They kind of
They waited till the 7th week, and I like that it was, you know, Bryan feels more connected and David was kind of like, you know, I can take it or leave it, and which also makes sense for his character because he's a doctor. And
he even said, he's like, I believe based on facts, not on faith. Yeah.
So
more scientific, clearly, and that's obviously probably a common way to be thinking too. I'm not saying there's not doctors out there that don't believe in religion, but that makes sense for his character for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think I like how they did that. I like how Ryan Murphy brought that in. I mean, do you agree? You like?
I love the way Ryan Murphy brought that in. I really do.
I just think it makes so much sense to show people that it's not so, just like religion, it's not so black and white.
Right.
Like, everyone can believe. It's not just, I mean, I don't know, but I just think that people probably think that.
I think that he did a really good job. I love Ryan Murphy. I love Ryan Murphy in general, and I don't know if you've caught American Horror Story.
You know what? I haven't.
But it's on Wednesday nights, and we're doing an after show for it here. And we're doing an after show for pretty much every show.
Like 50 shows.
Like basically, if it's on TV, we're doing an after show for it.
That's right.
I personally am covering Dexter and Revenge. You're covering...
I'm doing America's Next Top Model, this show, and Nashville, which is pretty dang good, y'all.
It's pretty good.
And it is.
And Connie Britton used to be on American Horror Story.
Right. Yes, she did. Yes, exactly.
And so we do after shows for all this. So you should check them out. If you like this show, we have other shows.
If you like this one, there's others. Join us.
You know,
listen.
It just makes sense. It's logic, people.
It's logic.
You know, and faith.
We're all one big happy.
Bringing it back together.
We're all one big happy family unit here.
It's true.
So if you like one, you'll probably like them all.
Truth talk.
Plus, Anna and I are on a bunch of different shows here, and if you like us, I mean, really, you can't get enough, can you?
Yeah. Truth.
Come on.
We'll be coming back soon too with anger management.
Anger management.
Coming back.
That's
coming
right.
Back very soon.
Well, speaking of the family unit, we kind of touched on that this episode as well.
We did.
And we saw Goldie kind of battling with where she wanted to draw the line with the family unit.
Right.
She brought...
she's hormonal too.
Exactly. I mean, that could be an excuse for everything at this point, right? But she brings she brings Shania, her daughter, into a meeting with Gary, the adoption specialist.
Right.
And he's sort of laying down the law, like, this is, we just want to check in with you. And Shania is sort of talking about, oh, well, Bryan and David are like family. And Goldie kind of felt the need to come in there and say, hey, look, I'm basically a walking storage unit for this baby. This
Right.
baby is not your brother or sister. It's actually not related to you at all. And once the baby comes, things are going to change. And everyone disagreed with her on that, except for Gary, the adoption specialist. But Bryan and David did not agree.
Right. I love that she said, but the baby is getting all of your love something and
yogurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of your love and wisdom and yogurt or something like
Yeah.
that. It was so cute. And we did get to see how very in touch with living in the moment Shania's character is.
Yeah, and again, I didn't really like Shania much for a while.
Okay.
Just because I don't know. I'm just sort of sick of that. Like, I'm cute and I'm
Smart little
and
nerdy
I'm,
girl,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's like we get it, Little Miss
Yeah.
Sunshine. You know,
We get it.
Like-
Exactly. The little boy from You Had Me at Hello. That
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
Jerry
yeah.
Maguire. Jerry Maguire. But yeah, no.
have you seen him lately? By the way.
Yeah. He's like ripped.
Yeah, he's super sexy.
I see.
And gay.
Oh, is he gay? Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I did know that.
Yeah.
He's very muscly. Let's just say that. Very muscly.
I think he's hot.
But the Shania, she had me at Little Edie. I mean, I kind of was obsessed with her ever since Little Edie. But no, but you know, they kind of again, they sort of let you see how intuitive she is. And when Goldie sort of expressed her hesitation with being connected to Bryan and David, she sort of helped bridge that gap, and Bryan and David were definitely like, we want you to be a part of the family. After the baby comes, we still want to be connected with you. And we also watched Rocky have a really, really strong role in this episode, helping deal with when Shania's guinea pig died.
Gerbil.
No, it was a guinea pig, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was a gerbil.
It was whatever. I don't even know if there's a scientific
cares?
difference between the two.
Who cares?
But Marshmallow, the gerbil slash guinea pig slash whatever it was, rodent, died, and they didn't understand how they were going to tell her. And Rocky stepped in, sort of said, "Hey, look, this is let me sort of explain this to her. She's a spiritual woman. She did a good job explaining it. We saw her relationship with her goddaughter, and this brought the episode to a conclusion when they both, Bryan and David, decided they had an aha moment on who they were going to pick for the godparents."
And I love that because I thought it was going in another direction. I thought they were going to choose Rocky and that Goldie was going to ask Bryan and David to be Shania's godparents.
I thought they were going to do that too.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, I like this so much better.
Yeah.
And that's going to keep them all connected. And I also love that, Ryan Murphy sort of called himself out like, oh, I'm just looking up how many TV families have done this and it didn't work out. So
Oh, yeah, when the guinea pig died.
Yeah.
And they said, well, the obvious answer is to just go and, well, actually, we saw the two characters, Bryan and David, deal with it in their own ways, as always, the dichotomy there. David tried to save it with science.
Well, Bryan asked him to.
Yeah, but he still did it. And Bryan then came up with the fantastic idea to go get one that looks just like it at the pet store. And Rocky was like, oh, we're going to look up and see. She said the Brady Bunch, which I totally remember. And then she brought up a couple other families. And then she said the Growing Pains is. I don't
funny.
remember that one, but I'm sure they did it.
I'm just, while we're not talking about it, but our super fan Adrian
Oh, yes.
let us know that LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell are doing NCIS LA.
NCIS LA. I said NICS or something. I mixed up that. But yes, thank you, Adrian. Adrian, thank you very much.
there you go.
But yes, I told you. See, he is on a show that is on right now. And I just saw Chris O'Donnell on The View, and he has like 7 kids. No, he has like 5. I'm exaggerating. But he's like, yeah.
It's a lot of kids.
He left Hollywood, and then he did the family thing, and then he came back. And
lot of
he's on
kids.
NCIS LA, and it is a lot of kids. But anyway, to conclude this episode, I thought it was a great, great little ending. They decided to pick Rocky and Shania as the godparents. I thought that was very cute. And Nana was not here to comment on that, but
Which is good.
maybe the next episode she'll have a say in what's going on.
I have to say about the new normal, I laugh every time,
Mm-hmm.
and every time I get misty-eyed, and if I weren't so used to pushing my feelings so far down, I would probably cry. So
We learn something new every day about you, Anna.
It's true.
You know what? I probably would. I don't cry that easily unless I'm watching Long Island Medium, which always makes me cry. But this, their relationship, Bryan and David, they get me every time. Every time. They're so freaking cute. I'm obsessed, and I also not secretly, but openly love Justin Bartha.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I mean,
Stop it. Stop.
he's
I know.
so freaking cute.
I love him.
And I love them together on screen, and then I would love him and I together off screen.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Putting that out there. All right. Well, so yeah, I love this episode. It makes me laugh too. Every time.
Yeah.
I love Ryan Murphy. Never ceases to amaze me. All right, let's get into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
What do you got for us, Anna?
Well, I've got PresHilton.com says that Matt Bomer or Bomer, I don't know. It's spelled like boner, but with an M.
I don't know how to say it either.
Okay, well, Matt with Matt B. We'll just call him that.
Maddie B.
Maddie B is going to be making an appearance as Brian's boyfriend, his ex-boyfriend, forgive me. And apparently this is a spoiler alert.
It's okay.
Spoiler alert.
Thank you, Marissa.
Alert.
That wasn't the spoiler alert, because I mean, everybody knows.
Yeah,
that
but
he's-
the spoiler
The spoiler alert coming up is that he cheated on Brian. So, anyway.
Yikes.
And there's more spoiler. Do you want to know?
I do.
Okay. He cheated with a lady.
But he said he was a virgin. I guess they didn't have sex. This episode, Brian said in church he was a virgin.
Well, he was in church.
But I'm
He
sure
was joking, though. He was saying, he was like, yeah, and I've been in a
No, but-
barn with 3 wise men, too.
Okay, but I thought he meant like with the woman though, like their idea of virginity. No?
I don't know.
Maybe not. I
We'll
read
find
into
out.
that, but we will see. Oh, this is very interesting.
Yeah, time will tell.
Ooh, who is that going to be? We'll save that for predictions. Okay, good. Well, that's our little news and gossip tidbit for this week. We didn't have much for you.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good. And a spoiler alert. Let's get into predictions, shall we?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Well, now that we have this spoiler alert, we have to predict. I'm going to say we're predicting a great cameo here for the girlfriend. Gosh, who could that be? I'm feeling like Ryan Murphy loves Kristen Chenoweth. She might be a punchy little, like, we met in the theater and we had one night stand and I don't know. Maybe Kristen Chenoweth. Someone punchy.
Maybe.
Someone punchy who could give Nana a run for her money.
More than Rocky? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you have a prediction for?
I predict that Goldie is going to start dating soon. And that's going
That's
to
right.
complicate things.
Rocky's brother. We never figured
That's
out.
right.
We never figured out if they went on a date. They planned on the date at the wedding,
And then there was a debate.
and then that overshadowed the date. But we want to see the date. Gosh.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and listening, guys. I am Lauren Leonelli, and you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my website.
And I'm Anna Koppel. You can follow me at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.